Welcome in. Student hand, this is Unit 2, Expressions and Equations. Student handout number 7, multi-step equations with the distributive property. Welcome in. Tell me this song. All right. Equations may include steps that require simplifying first, and then we do the take addition to the other side, all that. But today we're going to learn how when we have distributive property, we have to do that first. So we're going to follow the steps below to solve the given example. All right, so as I just said, we are going to distribute first, then we're going to combine, and then we're going to solve. What solving means, undo addition first, and then undo multiplication. All right. Here we go. Now, before we start, I want to clear up something. This, you do not have to write this, by the way, is just a way to write multiplication. That's all it is. It's the same thing as that in green. That is just writing multiplication. That is not the distributive property. It's just one number in parentheses. It's times the number on the outside. That is a way to write multiplication. Instead of writing it like this, we write it like that in algebra. Okay? This in yellow is distributive property, which is what we're about to do today. Okay? All right. Just wanted to clear that up real quick, Let's get it started. All right, distributive property. Just like this, you multiply whatever's on the outside times what's on the inside. Same thing over here with distributive property, just like we did in a few units ago. This times everything on the inside. So that is 4 times 2x, and then that is 4 times positive 9. So 4 times 2x is 8x. 4 times 9 is 36. We did not do anything to that, so we're just going to bring it down. All right, there's step 1. Step 2. There's nothing to combine. All right, there's no like terms. Well, there is. There's on opposite sides. So now we've got to undo the addition because we have to combine like terms. So we have to get that on the other side. And you're left with 8x. We didn't touch it, so we're just going to bring it down. Guess what happens to those? Those go away. 68 minus 36 is 32. And the last step is to divide by 8. Those puppies go away. I'm left with x equals 4. So there are 3 steps now. At least 3. There could be 4. All right. Let's go down here to the bottom. The directions say to solve each of the following multi-step equations. Be sure to check your solution by substituting it back in. All right. Number 1, we're going to do distributive property first. We got to get everything out of parentheses first. Just like please excuse my dear Aunt Sally, parentheses come first. By George, we do parentheses first. First. If you ain't first, you last. All right. Who said that? If you ain't first, you last. Y'all know? All right. So we have 6 times x, which is 6x. In red, we have 6 times -5, which is -30. The the 18 we didn't touch yet, so let's just bring that down. Next, we have to get the underlined green part there over to the other side to combine with 18. How do we do that? We do the opposite, which is 30. Guess what happens to those? They disappear. 6x equals, that would be 48. And the last step is to divide by 6. And we get 6 times 8. X equals 8. They ask us to check our work, and guys, you can do that. So here was the solution. Here was the problem: 6x minus 5. Just like I showed you yesterday. You can, where x is, you can enter x. Okay, so 6, and then where x is, you can put 8, and then put the rest of the problem. Enter that in your calculator just like you would. Add the parentheses and everything. Hit 6, parentheses open, 8 minus 5, parentheses close, and then hit enter. And what does it tell you? It's going to tell you that equals 18. Does 18 equal 18? Yes. Check. All right, 4 times 5x, and then 4 times positive 6. 4 times 5x is 20x. 4 times 6 is positive 24. I did not touch the 12, so just bring it down. Now, what do I do now? Undo the addition or subtraction first. There it is right there, so let's take it to the other side because we're trying to go away from x. So we're going to subtract both sides by 24. And you are left with, those go away, you're left with 20x equals negative 12. Now, you divide by 20. Negative 12 don't go into 20. It does, it's just a decimal, guys. Those go away, I'm left with x, and when you enter negative 12 divided by 20 in your calculator, it's going to give you negative 0.6. You got to be tooting me. You got to be tooting me. I'll work that out real quick. I'm not going to talk you through it. I'm just going to work it real quick so it's there. There you go. All right, now you're going to come down here and you're going to write your problem. And wherever x is, you're just going to substitute it for what x is. So 4, parentheses, 5, and where x is, you're going to put x. That is 5 times x. So make sure you do a times there, negative 0.6. plus 6. Enter that into your calculator. And when you do, does it equal 12? It will. So it'll be a check. But that's how you see if your answer is correct. So you can know if you got the answer right. Plug your answer back in for X. And then you know if you got the problem right or wrong. So you know if you made 100 or not. All right, next one. That's a -3, not a -3. That's a -3, and it's outright touching the parentheses, so it means multiplication. So -3 times 2x, and then -3 times -4. So -3 times 2x is -6x. And then in red, -3 times -3 is positive 12. 18 I didn't touch, so just bring it down. Next step, subtract 12. Undo the addition or subtraction first. You're left with -6x equals 6. Next step, divide by -6. Why -6? Why divide? Because it is -6 times x. What is the opposite of that? That is division. Negative sign needs to go with it. Those go away. I'm left with x equals -1. Now, to go see if your answer is correct, all you do is rewrite the problem down here. And where x is, put x. So times -1 minus 4. Enter that in your calculator. Enter that into your calculator and see if it equals 18. And if it does, which it does, then it is good to go. So you shouldn't come up here and ask me, did I get it right? You can look for yourself. Use your knowledge of solving equations to answer the following question. Eduardo solved the following equation but made an error. Describe his mistake and then correctly solve the equation. So I want each of us, I'm going to pause in just a second. I'm going to let you look at it, find the error, and then solve it. Pausing now. Welcome back. I'm going to work it out first. I'm going to do that over here. I'm just going to kind of correct Eduardo over here. -5 times 4x, that is correct. -20x is correct. I'm just going to underline it. All right. He did not do what? -5 times -2 is not -2. It is what? +10. So that's where his mistake was. So he didn't distribute to the second number. So let's come back over here. Eduardo did not distribute to the second term in the parentheses, in parentheses. So Eduardo did not distribute to the second number in parentheses. All right, so let's go over here and solve the actual problem. I'm just going to rewrite it. Yes, you need to do this if you haven't. Okay, -5 times 4x, that is -20x. -5 times -2 is +10. Subtract 10. Those go away. You're left with -20x equals -40. Divide by -20. and x equals 2. The correct solution is x equals 2. All right. I love how stuff just disappears sometimes. It just makes my heart happy. All right, 5 through 10, you and your partner. If you cannot work with a partner and talk about math, this is your one and only warning today, since we had a bad day yesterday. Then you will work this individually. All right, you and your partner, ready, set, go. Welcome back. Let's work them out. Please pay attention. Half times x, half times 4. All right. A half times x is just a half x. A half times 4 is a positive 2. I didn't touch the negative 12. Next step, subtract 2. So there's still 1/2 x equals negative 14. And then the last step is going to be divide by 1.5. And you're left with x is going to equal negative 28. All right. Number 6. X is on the other side. That's fine. All right. 2 times 3x, which is 6x. 2 times negative 2, that goes together, is negative 4. 26 can stay exactly where she's at. Now, take the negative 4 and put it on the other side. You're left with 30 equals 6x. And the last step is to divide by 6. And you're going to get x equals 5. Number 7. All right, 2/3 times 3x is 2x. 2/3 times a negative 6 is a negative 4 equals 8. Now you're going to undo the addition or subtraction first. So you're going to add 4 to both sides. You're left with 2x is going to equal 12. Then you're going to undo the multiplication. And you're going to be left with x equals 6. All right. Number 8. Negative 2 times 1.7x is negative 3.4x. Negative 2 times 1.2 is a positive. No, it's not. It's a negative. Coach Spartman's an idiot. It would be a negative 2.4 minus, I didn't do anything to that yet, minus 3.8 equals 4. I do have to combine like terms first, just like we used to do, remember? There are like terms right there. They are regular numbers with no x, and they are on the same side. So I have to combine them first. They're just plain old numbers. So in your calculator, you go negative 2.4 plus negative 3.8. When you do that, you are going to get negative 6.2. Now, I didn't do anything to those circled in black yet. I didn't do anything, so I'm just bringing them down. They were not on my to-do list on the first one. So I'm just bringing them down. Now I can undo addition or subtraction to the other side by adding 6.2. Those go away. I'm left with negative 3.4x equals 10.2. Now I'm going to divide by negative 3.4. Those go away. I'm left with x equals negative 3. So this one, I had to combine like terms before I went across the equal sign. All right, so let's go back and clear up any confusion on the last one. Just how do you know, I'm gonna do this in yellow, guys, so follow the yellow lines. How do I know not to do negative 2 times negative 3.8? Because negative 3.8 is not in parentheses. So it's not multiplying by anything, okay? You only multiply by what's on the inside of the parentheses. 10.4? All right. Coming over. 5 times 4 is 20. 5 times negative 2x is negative 10x. I didn't touch the negative 14, so I'm just bringing it down. Next step, get rid of the addition or subtraction. How did you know that was addition? In yellow, it's understood to be a plus there, okay? That's understood to be a positive. You know that. All right. Those go away. I'm left with negative 10x equals negative 34. Divide by negative 10 to undo the multiplication, and you're left with x equals positive 3.4. Guys, it's the same steps. Every time. Same steps. All right. Moving over to number 10. Here we go. What has 5 toes and isn't your foot? What has 5 toes and isn't your foot? My foot. All right. There is no distributive property on number 10. There's no parentheses. Whoopee. But there are like terms. Remember like terms? We have to combine those first. Okay? So when we do that, we're going to get negative 2 plus 6, which is 4x, minus 9. Didn't touch it, so just bring it down. Didn't touch it, bring it down. Negative 4. Now, undo the addition or subtraction to get x by itself. I'm left with 4x equals 5. And then I'm going to divide by 4, and x is going to equal 1.25. What is the easiest building to lift? A lighthouse. Why do sweaters tend to hang out together? They're pretty close knit. What did What did the buffalo say to her son on the first day of school? Bison. Ah. That's pretty good. Why shouldn't you tell secrets in the cornfield? There are too many ears around. All right. Word problem. 3 friends met for a book club at a coffee shop. Each friend ordered a cup of coffee and 2 donuts. The total of the order was $21.75. If a cup of coffee costs $3.25, then use the diagram to write an equation to solve for C, which is the cost of a donut. So we know that each friend, there's how many of them? There are 3 friends. That's where the 3 comes from in red. There are 3 friends, and each one of them ordered the same thing. Okay? They all ordered a cup of coffee and 2 donuts. That's why it's 3 times all of that together, because that's what each ordered. If a cup of coffee costs $3.25, so there's the coffee right there. So $3.25 plus what? What's the next diagram right there? That is 2 what? 2 donuts, which we could put 2X or 2D. Let's put 2D for donuts. And then lastly, they give us the second part, which is $21.75. Now let's solve it. So I'm going to write it over here out of the way so we can solve it. So it's 3 times 3.25 plus 2D equals 21.75. Now we're going to go 3 times 3 1/4, which is 9.75. And then we're going to go 3 times 2D, which is a positive 6D. I didn't touch the 21.75, so I'll bring it down. Now I'm going to subtract 9.75. Those go away. I'm left with 6D equals 12. Last step is to divide by 6. And D equals 2. So each donut cost $2. Each donut cost $2. I am going to rewrite that for the ones of you that did not get it. There you go. Did you hear about the cleaners who went to space? They ended up scrubbing the mission. What did the beach say when the tide came in? No, they did not say roll tide. Bammers. It said long time no see. Why do turkeys play the percussion? They have drumsticks. That's pretty good. All right. How much does it cost to swim with sharks? An arm and a leg. Number 12. Two brothers each purchased a new pair of hiking boots and 2 canteens. The hiking boots cost $34 and the total of their purchase was $98. What was the cost of each canteen? So, what are we looking for? That's the first thing we always need to ask ourselves, and we're looking for the cost of the canteen. So we're going to use C, and the cost of the, I guess, let's put A canteen. That's what we're looking for, is the cost of the canteen. All right, so we're going to write an equation. So two brothers, each. That means division or multiplication. When you see that word, key word. Each is division or multiplication every single time. Distributive property is multiplication, by the way. All right, two brothers each purchase a new pair of hiking boots and 2 canteens. So both brothers purchase hiking boots at $34. They both do it. And they also get 2 canteens. So it'd be 34 plus the 2 canteens. I don't know the cost. We do know their total was $98, and we do know that there's 2 brothers. So it'd be 2 parentheses 34 plus 2C equals 98. So let's go over here and solve that. Divide by 4, and you're left with C equals 7.5. So how much did each canteen cost? C equals, remember it was 7, it was in money, so it's $7.50. 7.5 is the same thing as 7.50, except we're talking about money. And the last joke of the day, why did the rabbit go to the saloon? Because he was having a bad hair day. It's all for the fat guy in the back. I'll see you on the flip side. Adios, amigos.